Yep, it's happened before. We have run out of toilet paper in the past. As a matter of fact, the US has run out of a lot of things in the past. Toilet paper, gasoline, hope. We may think we're in unprecedented times right now, and we are. As a matter of fact, this video is probably going to be kind of dated, but hey, we'll look at it like a time capsule. Who knows, maybe we'll even have an internet shortage in the future. Probably just me though, because I can't afford to pay my bills. But that's something we'll get into later. Let's just kick this off. So I was reading an article on newser.com, you know, the mecca for all things information. It was an okay article, but it was throwing around words like hoarder and panic buyer, like my dad throws around power tools when he's working on his house. Look, Dad, I'd love to catch that cordless drill from 20 feet away, but the bones of my hands are actually pretty solid, and I'd like to keep it that way. All that to say that I stopped reading Newser, but then I stumbled across this article on CBSNews.com, otherwise known as the ugly duckling of network journalism. Anyway, the article was titled, Remembering the Great Toilet Paper Shortage of 1973. It had pictures of Johnny Carson, and it was not that long, so it caught my interest. As I was reading, I noticed that they were citing a bunch of old interviews from the 70s, so I might have been better off just talking to a grandpa, but hey, some of the things were actually interesting. Interesting. Hear that, you grandpa? Of course you didn't. Turns out, during the financial crisis of the early 70s, the US was facing shortages of gasoline, meat, and some other small things, but people were still shitting away. That is until some congressman from Wisconsin said that the country might be facing some kind of possible toilet paper shortage, and he probably said it with a smile, too. Lord knows when you have that much cheese, you probably won't be needing toilet paper that frequently. Can somebody do a study on Wisconsin's collective metabolism? Poop jokes aside, the congressman's words got in the hands of Johnny Carson and his writing staff at The Tonight Show. They make a joke, they change probably a shortage to a shortage. One thing leads to another. Now all of America has to ration their bathroom visits. Damn, 1973 was weird. But 2020 is weird too. I'm slowly starting to learn that the world is whack. So where am I going with all this? Well, I guess CBS News is trying to tell us to calm down and let us know that this has all happened before. But I'm not falling for it. Look, 1973 could not have handled an international pandemic, okay? They didn't have the memes to get them through. They didn't have group FaceTime with the homies, alright? They didn't have shows you could just go binge. Sure, you could go watch a MASH rerun, but at that point, you got one foot in the grave. Just call it a day. Thankfully, we're pampered in 2020. Now, if this toilet paper shortage thing gets any worse, we might be pampered in a different way, but we'll see. Really though, I mean, we have Netflix and social media, and don't even get me started on Zoom. I'm convinced that Zoom created this virus. I didn't even know what Zoom was until my classmates all had fevers. Now there's a ton of people doing their jobs or getting their degree through Zoom. Shit, I'm part of the class of COVID-19. So yeah, 1973 could not have handled this. They were practically ripping sheets out of a notebook to go wipe their ass, all because TV Man said you gotta go buy all the toilet paper you can get your hands on. So yeah, people in the 70s they were not equipped for this. And yet, even though it's 2020, and we have all of these beautiful technological advancements, like I mentioned, panic still sets in. There is one thing interesting that I did pick up from the article though. It said that there's no shortage, just panic. Some smart guy from a college said that when there's uncertainty in this world, people will try to eliminate some of that uncertainty. Naturally. So they follow this thing called zero risk bias, which sounds a lot like my dating habits. Basically what this smart college guy is saying is that people feel more at peace knowing that they have at least one essential covered. Which at the heart of it makes sense, right? They have that old saying, you pay for peace of mind. And with everybody going stir crazy in their homes right now, it's probably worth paying for peace of mind. Honestly though, I'm okay with everybody being inside. Aside from this pandemic, it's allergy season, which is one of the most annoying seasons ever. There's always that one dude that's constantly clearing his throat. It just sounds like he's always about to say something important. Guess what? He's not. On top of that, life is just different now. Plane tickets are dirt cheap, but you shouldn't fly, which sucks because then you have no chance of seeing a famous person on your flight. One time I was on a plane with that guy from Lost, that was actually kind of terrifying. And you can't go out to eat anymore, you have to order takeout all the time, which sucks. I like going to restaurants and seeing all the pictures on the wall of the celebrities that have eaten there before. Speaking of which, how many fucking restaurants has Joe Pesci been to? Wow, I'm off track right now. My thought process during this whole thing is just crazy. All I'm thinking about is Joe Pesci, planes, and people clearing their throat. Shit, I am going crazy too. Whatever. All I know is CBS says there's no reason to panic. There's plenty of toilet paper. It just might kind of be hard to get your hands on right now. So I guess the last thing I'll leave you with is this. If you can't get a hold of toilet paper right now, don't panic, don't worry, you're not alone. The only thing I can suggest is that you follow a strict Wisconsin diet. It may be your only option. And all jokes aside, please try to be safe and do your part in making this all go away. Luckily for me, I'm floating through space, so nothing can touch me. But I do hope that